And today we are making Carmelita bars, Carmelita bars. Way before I started my blog, I found this Carmelita recipe that I absolutely fell in love with. It involved those little caramel candies, and I spent like an hour unwrapping like 40, 60, a crazy number of them, and then I would melt them down and make these insanely delicious bars. We're gonna make a similar recipe, only it's gonna be healthified. It's gonna be a delicious paleo homemade caramel sauce, and we're skipping the oats. We're just doing a nutty crumble and a nutty base, so it is going to be so good. And of course we're going to have delicious chocolate chips in there, so I'm excited to get started. Cheers, happy day. Alright, so what you need is your food processor, and what we're going to do is put in 2 cups of nuts. I have mostly pecans. I'm also adding some almonds in there just because I was about a half a cup of pecans short for this recipe. So I'm doing like a mixed nuts. You can use whatever you like. I think hazelnuts would be amazing. So I'm doing pecans and almonds. Just going to put that into my food processor. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add 1 cup of almond flour. I'm going to add that in. And then the last dry ingredient that we're going to add is 1/2 of a teaspoon of sea salt. And now we're just going to pulse this for about 5 to 10 seconds until it gets nice and chopped up. But you don't want it to be too chopped up. You want it like a good chopped up. Alright, so this is looking chunky, it's combined, which I'm liking. So the next thing we're going to do, we're adding 1/4 of a cup of natural almond butter. You could use any nut butter that you like. You could use peanut butter if you want, but yeah, I'm using almond butter, so whatever works for you. And then we're going to use 1/4 of a cup of ghee. You could also use butter or coconut oil. So yeah, 1/4 of a cup of ghee. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of agave nectar. You could also use honey or maple syrup. Now that all of our ingredients are in our food processor, we're just going to mix it up again and get it nice and combined. Okay, so this is perfect. Like, as you can see, it's crumbly, but if you press it together like this, it would form like kind of a dry ball. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. And then what you want to do, okay, so then what you want to do is get a dish. This is an 8x8 dish, and we're just going to line it with parchment paper. Transfer about half of this delicious nutty crumbly mixture into the dish. So you want half because you want to save the other half to crumble on top. Okay, and once you've transferred about half, you just want to press it in, do a little bit more. You just use your hands to press it in. You could also dampen your hands to make it easier, and you just really want to pack it and press it into the bottom. So this is looking great. Once it's in a single layer, we are just going to pop it into the oven and cook it for about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so while the base is baking, I am going to make the caramel. And so what I'm going to do is get a can of coconut cream. This is just Thai kitchen coconut cream, but you can find most stores have their own brand coconut cream. So I'm just going to transfer this into a saucepan. I went too far! So I'm just heating this up, getting it nice and smooth, and then we'll add the other ingredients. Okay, so this is getting nice and hot, super bubbly, so I'm going to add my coconut sugar. Just keep whisking. And the key to this is just to have patience. It's going to thicken up and congeal and become kind of caramely textured, but for now it's kind of watery. So you just want to keep whisking, keep it going, and it should come together very shortly. So I originally got this idea to redo the Carmelita bars when I was live on Instagram once. I forget what I was making. Oh, the chocolate mug cake, the 1-minute chocolate mug cake. And somebody said, hey, can you make a gluten-free, delicious paleo Carmelita bars? And I said, sure. So that's where the idea came from. So if you're listening, if you're watching this, so whoever asked that question or made that request, 1, thank you for watching my Instagram live, and 2, this one's for you. So yesterday, as I was making a recipe, I was chopping sage and also listening to my new favorite podcast. I was a little too intent listening to my podcast and I ended up chopping part of my thumb off. So that has been so bad. But it's bandaged up. I'm gonna go to the store and get more bandages. I think it'll heal fine. Knife safety, you guys. I wanna get one of those like mittens or gloves where like you can cut. There's a little birdie out there. Hello, little birdie. You can like chop your hand and nothing happens. So as it's thickening up, I'm just gonna do a splash of vanilla and some sea salt in there and continue to whisk. Looking nice, look at that. It's not super drizzly, it's thicker, it's drippy, looking amazing. Okay, this is perfect. I'm gonna take it off the heat. And now what I'm gonna do is, hot, is I'm just gonna pour this on top of my Carmelita bars. So I'm just gonna take a little spatula, spread it evenly across the top. So the next thing we're gonna do is take some dark chocolate chips and sprinkle them on top. So I used about 2/3 of a cup of dark chocolate chips. You want a good layer. It's gonna go right into the caramel. The last step is you're gonna take the rest of this that you originally used as the base and you're just gonna crumble it on top. So you just take a handful, kind of crumble it. You don't want too big of chunks. And you just crumble it on top. Okay. Pat it down, make sure it's in. Lick your finger. So after you get that top layer of crumble, we're just gonna pop it in the oven and bake it for another 10 minutes. All right, guys, these came out of the oven and I let them come to room temperature in this dish. If you take them out of the dish right out of the oven, it'll be a whole gooey situation. So you want to let it come to room temperature. You can also pop it in the fridge and have them chilled and it'll get nice and congealed and combined and delicious. Once it was cooled, what I did was pulled up the parchment paper, put it onto a cutting board and then cut it into 9 squares. And this is what we have. Nice, gooey, caramely, chocolatey, nutty goodness. Oh my God. It's like a candy bar. Alright guys, there you have it. Gluten-free, paleo-friendly Carmelita bars. OMG, they're amazing. Hope you make these. I hope you love them. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube fam. I am Lindsay from thetoastedpinenut.com. You can also find me on Instagram at thetoastedpinenut. Love you. Mwah!